Rough Edge FM. Irritatingly irresistible internet radio at roughedgefm.com.
Welcome to Magic Talk, the ultimate backstage pass to the world of magic. We dive deep into the art, the craft, and the business behind the illusion. If it's magic, we talk about it. Sometimes. And now, your hosts, master of misdirection and dad jokes, magician James Lantine, purveyor of magical oddities and unpaid family labor, magic shop owner Joshua Lantine, and straight from a suspiciously nearby park bench, the one, the only, Gregory Alexander.
All right, the one.
God, Greg, what happened?
I found some pills. You don't want to know.
He didn't say. Look at that. It's
It was
rough weekend, huh?
Well, I stayed overnight on the park bench.
Oh, you know what I was gonna say. It is suspiciously nearby.
He didn't come out very well out of the wash. He came out a little wrinkly.
This is very hurtful. I'm only 37.
I know. I know you haven't done this before, Greg. A lot. So, all right. So in for Greg is the one, the only, the masterful Doug Coleman. You're on.
Doug Coleman. Thanks for being here. It's nice to be on Magic Talk with you guys.
Those are
what I wasn't paying attention. Okay, I'm researching right now.
I'm in good company.
Yes, you are.
Sure you are. Oh, you don't even want to know what that is.
No, I really don't.
all right.
And I sell it too.
So here we go. We're going to take a little test.
Yes.
So far, how are we doing?
There's your test. There's your test.
Do we have a different test each time?
So today's show, we're going to talk about public speaking. Now, when I just announced that, what was the first thing that I said wrong was?
So for today's show.
Yes, I said so. Using the infamous lead-in words, what do they call them? Fillers, crutches, all that good stuff.
So basically, we're going to be exploring all of your faults.
Yes, yes.
That is one that you've mentioned before.
It
So
is.
basically, yes.
So,
Yeah, and so basically.
all
right. Let's imagine. Notice I didn't say so. Let's imagine. Let's imagine that we are performing. I am a magician. I come up to your table and I say the following. I have a deck of cards. I'm going to take the cards out of the box. I'm going to shuffle those cards. Now I will fan out the cards. As you can see, the cards are in random order. Now I will fan out the cards again. Please pick a card. Look at it. Memorize it. Place it back in the deck. Now I will shuffle the cards again. And as I look through the deck, I will find your card.
Now, as I look through the deck.
What the heck? Are you trying to be like the dominant one in this conversation?
No, I'm just saying. I was reading along as you were speaking, and so I noticed right here. Is that the first question of the test?
So now as I look through the deck, I will find your card. Is this your card?
No.
Sorry.
Okay, yes.
So what went wrong with this trick? All right. Out of all these phrases, which ones were the only ones that were necessary to be said?
The only thing that I'm looking at with that is select a card.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is just visual that you can.
Well, look at it is important because a lot of times they don't look at it.
Yeah.
And memorize it.
Select a,
Yep.
Yeah. Select a card and remember. And
Yeah.
Remember your card.
3,
Yeah.
4.
Everything else was totally redundant.
Well, I'll give you
Not
this.
redundant. So unnecessary.
I'll give you this, at least from personal experience.
Okay.
Please pick a card. Necessary.
Yes.
Look at it. Yes, necessary.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many times somebody's gone and said, okay, pick a card. They pick it. Now put it back in the deck. Didn't even once look at it. And they say, did you memorize your card? And they say, no. I said, do it again.
Right.
It's happened many times. So please pick a card, look at it, memorize it, place it back in the deck. Those are 4 of the lines that are the most necessary.
Right.
Do not need to say I have a deck of cards. Please don't say I'm going to shuffle them, or I will fan them out. As you can see, they're in a random order.
So we've established that there's only 4 sentences out of that entire list that are necessary.
That I think I would use. Yes.
That you guys would use.
Unless I'm being facetious, I do not say, and now I will look for your card in the deck.
Now, let's talk about actual practical application.
Oh, also, is this your card? That is also very important. five of those lines are important.
How many times have you said, I have an ordinary deck of playing cards?
I try not to say it at all.
But how many times have you actually said it?
Oh, in my shows, probably a lot, but I'm very mindful of trying not to say that.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the thing. There are things that we're all mindful about, but then all of a sudden when you get to the actual show, it's like, damn it, I said it anyways.
My mindset going into any show these days is to be authentic. Is to be authentic with having the cards come out, having them select one, something that they, because we're talking about this right now. We've done it all our careers,
right?
How to select a card, pick a card, whatever it is to get them to select a card. Some people are out there, they just fan them out and just look at them until they do it on their own. I mean, so there's many approaches, but my approach is to be as authentic as I can possibly be in this regard. Yeah, we're all guilty of this whole long list.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it what's funny is we all say don't state the obvious. Well, there are some things that you kind of have to state.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I was doing, so I'm taking a course on essentially public speaking, things that you should avoid opening with, things that different things like that. It's an online course. It's pre-recorded, so I'm going through this. And one of the things that she immediately opens with is, how many of you come out on stage and say, how's everyone doing today? Or how y'all doing? That is like my opening line for almost everything. And so essentially what she was saying is that it's overused, it's predictable, it's low energy, it gets an automatic response of, yeah, we're good. So that lowers the room's energy, and it puts the burden on the audience instead of setting the tone. So you should start with something that commands attention instead. And there's some examples. For example, let me see. Where to start those examples that I printed out? Oh, so instead, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you something that will completely change how you think about as an open line. Or 3 years ago, I was standing backstage about to walk away from everything. What if everything you've been told about success is backwards? So those are some of the suggestions that they had for opening phrases instead of, how y'all doing today? Yeah. Here's one opening phrase that we were all pretty much guilty of. I'm going to show you a card trick. Now, in your mind, what is wrong with that?
Everything. Everything.
But like more specifically, what do you think that sets the tone for?
It sets the, for me personally.
Yes.
If I've heard that, you're just stating the obvious, and so. Let me throw some stuff in there. I think it's more important to do everything where you connect with your audience, where you're saying things that actually connects and brings them to you. So you're not just talking at them; you're starting to talk with them. So let me show you a card trick. Just says, here I am, watch me do my magic stuff. That's why wouldn't want to use that phrase.
And how about you, Josh?
Let me show you a card trick. I'm sorry. Once you said that, I actually started to think about how could I use that line effectively. And you use that line by saying, all right, I'm going to start by showing you a card trick. You don't show them a card trick, you show them a coin trick. And then you go, everything you do is misleading in some fashion. But it's on purpose. I like that idea.
I agree with that. And I used to do a card trick or a rope trick, and I'd have a deck of cards. And they'd say, oh, card trick. And I would immediately pull a rope out of the cards. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
That works. It still works in certain locations, but you have to read the room for those kind of tricks to work.
It makes you sound, so let me actually answer this legitimately. I do feel that makes you sound amateur. It doesn't sound like you were talking about with the authenticity of it. It's everybody is in the room with you, so why on earth are you narrating the whole? Why are you narrating it like you're doing it to people who are blind?
So here's my thing about I'm going to show you a card trick. Number one, it's a disconnected phrase. Number two, you immediately establish that you're going to trick them, which there are a lot of people who don't like to be tricked. We actually did a survey one time of people that it was during an improv show. And I'd asked the audience, there was about 40 people in the audience, and I asked them, I said, how many of you don't like magic? And there's a handful of people that actually raised their hands. And the number one response for not enjoying magic is that it makes them feel stupid. They hate being tricked, and it's for kids. So the perception is magic is for kids. Well, let me show you a card trick I think is kind of kiddish. It also establishes that you're going to trick them. And like you had said, it's disconnected.
Disconnected.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and unfortunately, you just hit the nail on the head. A lot of people are still like that. But once they start seeing other types of magicians and their performances and their connections and how they connect with people, they look at it a different way. But there's people that it's the cliche. We're gonna, the guy's gonna pull a rabbit out of his hat. There's still a lot of cliche magician thoughts going through people's heads of what they've seen growing up.
Yeah, and case in point, we do the Glen Tavern every weekend, Friday and Saturdays, and yeah, as you know, working there, that there are people that set the card to say we don't want to see any magic, or we want to enjoy quiet conversation at this table. And oftentimes, if it's a slow night and those people are in the room, I'll still approach them afterwards, maybe after they're done eating, and I'll say, "Oh, so how was your food? Was it good? Perfect. Are you guys? By the way, is this your first time here? Are you local? Where are you coming from?" So I kind of ask them some questions that get to know them questions, and then I'll say, "Oh, I noticed you had quite a conversation, but I would love to entertain you with a few things. Could I show you one thing? And if you don't like it, I'll go away."
And what's important about that is people can sense and feel if you're real. If you're coming off like, hey, I want to prove something to myself. I want to show you that. But if I come up to a table like that they're saying that they don't want to see something, I'll try. It's a challenge, and it's a fun way to navigate to show them something that they now are enjoying the hell out of.
And sometimes it's just hospitality, because sometimes they still if I sense that they're still not open or receptive, then it's just hospitality. Sure. It's like, hey, thanks for coming.
As long as it's real.
Yeah.
But if it's real, if it's coming from a real place, people sense that. I do, you do, and they do. Most of them do, unless they're like in a heated argument or something like that.
Oh,
we can read the room and not go to that table anyway, because you can kind of sense that. We have that, our instincts and intuition kind of feel that when we're table hopping.
I'm not a mind reader, so I have a hard time with that.
Now you are.
So, oh, dang. Can I start with dang instead of so? Dang.
So, anyways, another word.
I had a table that I went to, and they were celebrating their anniversary.
Yeah.
And so they said that they just wanted to, enjoy each other's company and everything like that. And I went, "Oh my gosh, it's your anniversary? How many years?" And they were, I think it was like 25 or something like that. And I said, "Oh my gosh, can I please show you one thing? I promise you
Yeah.
that you're going to leave." Where they're holding hands. And I do that, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, do you have anything else?"
Yes, exactly. That's was my point about reading the room and reading those people and coming from that place. You know that's going to be a captivator, something they're going to remember, and you know that.
Yeah.
Going into it, so that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's challenging for you, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the fact that by us using those place cards, if it's busy, we're hitting all the people who, want to see the magic.
Yeah.
They want to be entertained.
They're there for
and I like, one of the things that you often say is that you want to make it an experience.
Yes.
It's not that you're showing them a magic trick. It's not that you're, trying to fool them. It's not that you're, a magician. You're just trying to create an experience for them.
an experience that they remember how they felt because of that experience.
Yeah.
Not the trick, but they go away thinking about how we made them feel at those moments.
Right.
That's what they remember. And that's so important for us to understand that that's the most powerful thing we have. Is making sure that they're walking away with how we made them feel.
And that's one of the things that when it's busy, especially in this table style setting, when it's busy, you're hitting the people that are there for the experience.
Yes.
That want to enjoy it. They know it.
Mostly, yes.
They're aware of it, and they wanna see it. And then the other tables that say they want quiet conversation, you don't have time to even approach them anyways, because it's busy and you're running around hitting all the other tables. So it makes it nice to be able to go in. Oh, we have a guest speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was trying to put her 2 cents in the other room, and I felt it was best to have her.
yeah. So she loves men, by the way.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Worst way to put that.
Well, she does. I mean, when grandma goes to hold her, she's kind of like, yeah, whatever.
She likes.
Can I have grandpa?
She likes grandpa.
Yeah.
Big time.
It is so cool being a grandpa. I know that's not the experience. It's something right now. I'm so thankful that I'm a grandpa. 2 granddaughters.
Yeah, you have 2 granddaughters.
I do.
Wow.
Yeah. Kala
Son.
and Cora.
Kella and Cora. Yeah.
So you feel jealous yet? You only got one.
No, that's okay. Julie is a mother of boys. So, anyway, the thing that when it's not busy, that's when you can kind of take the extra time to go to those tables and create the relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas the other times when it's busy, it's nice to know that, okay, the connection has already been made because they want you to come to their table.
And some of them didn't realize that there was a thing on their table to turn around to say, come on and show us some magic. Or
Right.
get the hell out of here.
I've actually had that a couple of times.
Yeah,
I
and
understand the rules of it all.
And we've had people who turn the cards around because they see the experience that everybody else is having.
Absolutely. And that I really embrace that. I love that.
Yeah.
And that's why the more they're reacting to it in a big way, in a boisterous way, so people do turn. And then, you got to see what they're having.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing.
That's fun.
So the phrase, how's everyone doing? How y'all doing? Overused, predictable. Don't start with that. Another one that people...
But I have to say, it depends on the environment. It depends on if you're doing a bachelorette party, for example, they're 30 or whatever, and they walk in and you've got a bunch of stuff set at the table. I kind of start with that. It's like, I hope everybody's feeling great. Where are you from? And I engage. I connect. I did my best to connect with them.
But
So
you're not
that's
asking
a
the
horrible-
question. You're saying, I hope everybody's doing
Well,
well
that's true.
tonight and going
Yes,
in.
100%.
It's not a question.
I do
Yeah.
suppose
That's
when,
right.
Yeah.
when you have in those situations, it is reliant on your wordage.
Yeah,
You
and
can
some
see
of that-
you can say the same thing two different ways, and one way is right, and the other way is wrong.
Well, that's why
Yes.
you're taking this
What was-
$120 educational program.
I know.
Learn that.
Right.
What was the thing where, saying you're sorry or apologizing? What is it? The one where it says, when there's certain situations where saying you're sorry or apologizing doesn't work, where it's like, if you're at a darn it, I totally lost. I gotta look it up.
Deep cut all this
I gotta look at. No, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm sorry. But there was a thing about using the same word, but in two different situations,
see.
it has different meanings.
Yeah.
You know,
Explain that.
I will when I find that whole "I'm sorry" thing. And I just saw it too, and I'm like, darn. The other thing is, so like for your example, your bachelorette thing.
Yeah.
I mean, one cool way to open up would have been like, how lucky am I that I get to be here
Sure.
in front of 30 beautiful women in a bachelorette party, and I'm the only guy that's been invited.
And I got to say, that's pretty real. I mean, that's coming from a real. That's not just a bunch of stars
No.
written on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That's like what you felt, and so that's the fun. That's the good thing for me is to just be real. Well, whatever comes out that's real, and they go, "This is going to be great."
Right.
So, if that's how it made you feel, say it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Other things that we get this quite a bit with our student magicians who go to perform at our Spellbound. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I've only had,
That's how they open. Is I'm nervous.
They're saying that.
I'm really nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so essentially it's setting the tone of, in this case, it shifts focus away from your message. It highlights weakness the audience may not have noticed. It basically, it brings attention to the fact that, this might not be very good.
A lot of people do that when they're receiving an Oscar or I'm really nervous for that. And they are.
Yeah.
But I also have to say they've been preparing for 3 weeks. If they're that close in that category to win an Oscar. So when I'm watching, and I'm a member of that academy, when I'm watching, I can kind of read through, that was baloney. So if it's real, I'm nervous, that's just kind of a real thing. So I don't know, I'd have to see it and look at the specifics of it.
Right.
One of the students saying that.
Right.
Actually, it did happen here.
It did.
It did.
At the last show.
Yeah. And it was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine. And he was. It's my first time doing this, and it really was. That was real. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I guess I get that. And if you're a pro,
No.
yeah. So, dang it.
So,
Yeah.
Weird. I'm like 9 now.
Today I'm going to talk about,
okay then.
so now it feels like a classroom. It's not emotionally engaging. And it tells instead of intrigues. Today I'm going to do a trick about, today I'm going to perform for you. That kind of stuff. So what are some strong openings? Here's what she says. Shock or surprise. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you something that will completely change how you think about it. Those are some of the things we talked about. Ask a powerful question. Tell a story. Those are some good strong openings. Make a bold statement. So the example that she gives, most people in this room are making the same mistake, and it's costing them more than they realize. So I don't know if I would use that. I know. I don't know if I'd use that because essentially it's saying Most of you are a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how badly this is affecting your pocketbook.
Yeah. I work with some trying to sell stock or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And-
Okay. So words or phrases
You
that
lost your penalty.
I know. Sorry. Words or phrases that filler words that are the biggest offenders. What are they?
So,
That's your biggest offense.
Yeah.
So
basically, you know.
Okay, that's not a filler word though. But go ahead.
Filler
What
phrase.
else?
so what I'm going to do next,
Um,
yeah.
like, you know, kinda, sort of. It signals lack of preparation. It breaks the audience's focus and it makes you sound less confident.
I was trying to think back to high school, what I used to put in my reports, and how I filled up the pages. It was, that is important because that is, you should have like all the conjunctions
The word count.
that you're overusing completely. You don't have to use those conjunctions like that, but you have.
Yeah, because it's a word count and, and words matter.
And now you just use AI.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, basically.
Write it for me.
Right. And then the teacher uses AI to grade it.
What's
Anyway.
interesting is Julie and I did a what would you call it? A public speaking seminar for some junior high kids in a mock trial. So they were going to be presenting themselves as the prosecution or the defendant or the defense team or whatever it might be. And we were working with them on their presentation as far as how are they going to deliver their opening arguments and things of that nature. It's always really easy to direct somebody into something, even though you don't necessarily follow it yourself, because you look back and you go, man, I do that all the time. But when it comes to actually, when it comes to directing people or instructing people, you know what the right thing to do is. You know what the right thing to say is. You know what you shouldn't be doing. But when all of a sudden you're there in the moment and it's live and you are nervous or whatever the case may be, a lot of that goes out the window, even though you know what it is you should be doing. I think Last Spellbound was a perfect example of that, because there were a lot of redundant phrases and things of that nature, and some of it was because the table changed, and there was no tablecloth or hiding the apparatus or whatever like your whole scenario changed. And it throws you. And it's the same thing like with me. You go up there and you're gonna just kind of wing it. And when it comes time to actually do it, winging shows.
Yeah.
Versus being prepared.
Knowing what I know now, based on what you just said, I would have been prepared with other things, but I was prepared to do it on a specific thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Instead of, okay, well, plan B.
When I didn't have a plan B.
Right. One of the things that she really strongly recommends, and she emphasizes this in so many ways, is that a pause is far more powerful than just a simple the prosecution, as the defense has shown, there's been motive, there was opportunity, and there was commitment. Instead of saying, and there was motive, and there was opportunity, and she really emphasizes on the pauses. There was motive, there was opportunity, and there was intent.
Sure.
And so it really, and there I just did an and so. But pauses, And that's one of the exercises that she has you go through as to how to eliminate some of these fill words is when you complete a sentence, pause.
And there's also pausing. Go ahead.
I was going to say that if you do that, pausing after a sentence, there is an actual marking on your sentence that dictates you doing that too.
A pause?
Yeah, a period.
Yeah.
When you go, actually, there's several accents that dictate that very thing. You have a period, you have a comma, you have a colon, you have a semicolon, you have an ellipses, you have all sorts of them that say, stop here.
Take a breath.
Take a breath. Breathe.
I think
Oxygen is good for you.
Yeah. One of the most important things in my brain, as far as what I put in the pauses, is so they can react and register everything that just happened. That's what I try to be mindful of with pauses.
Yeah.
That's the most important place for me to really focus on and be mindful of, so they have that time.
Right. Do you realize what just happened?
Yeah, and I have to say that you let that sink in, so it doesn't go over their head.
I always pause when I'm rifling through my pockets trying to find something else to show them.
Yeah, it's funny. With
Good place to.
Yeah, right.
With regards to that, letting it register, oftentimes what I'll do is I'll do something and I'll give a little pause because you can kind of see them going like, yeah, the gears are processing. And I give a little pause and then I go, yeah, that just happened. You know?
Oh, all smug and everything.
Yeah. But it really just kind of enforces like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
And
that really just right. It was like there was a joke that you had told me one time that I used.
One time?
Well, yeah. There was one particular joke that you had used that required, it was one of those things where it was like a ripple effect in the room. Because you would say it, and I'm not going to remember what it was, but you would say it, and you do?
I do.
And all of a sudden you just kind of watch, and there's a few people who get it right away, and then all of a sudden it kind of ripples, and then a little more get it, and at some point you go, it'll come to you.
Yeah. And that's one of those things that I'm saying periodically through it, right?
Yeah.
Like not right now. Is that the one you're referring to? Or people actually started saying that with me?
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the examples.
Yes. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yep.
Well,
Basically, actually, honestly, just I feel those are all weakening words in your statements. They water your message down. They suggest that what you're saying isn't solid. I think this might work versus this works. You should try it.
All the time.
well, there might be a
Playing
place,
magic. I hope it works. I think this works.
there might be a place where that's necessary, where you know it's already worked. It's already happened. So there
If
might be.
you've done it right, then yeah, this should be the case for everyone.
Well, a magician in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're trying to steer them off the path.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, obviously she's coming from a place of public speaking,
how much you pay?
Unnecessary lead-ins. So, well, all right, okay. They're verbal warm-ups. They are not content. So what I want to talk about today is, instead, you should try, today, we're going to solve a problem most people don't even realize they have.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Is today important? We're going to solve a problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
Instead of saying today.
It could be extra words that aren't necessary. Over explaining phrases. What I'm trying to say is, does this make sense to you? Let me explain. All you're suggesting is that your message wasn't clear. It stops the momentum, and it puts doubt in the audience's mind of, oh, gee, maybe I'm not getting it. Say it clearly the first time, move on. Hedging language these are confidence killers. Maybe, possibly, kind of, sort of, might. This might help you versus this will help you. And so, oh, these are my favorite. And so basically, at the end of the day, yeah, repetitive, the audience tunes out, feels scripted or lazy. Here's the key points. This is where it changes. Now watch this. Apology language. Sorry, this may not be great. Or overused story clinches. I'm going to take you on a journey ever since the beginning of time. When I do my attic show, I open with, tonight we're going to go on a journey to my attic. It's a place where memories are stored, but seldom visited. Maybe I shouldn't take them on a journey.
But you do.
Yeah. So a pro level tip, the most powerful replacement to all of these words is pause and eye contact. Instead of, what I want to do is pause, look at the audience. Here's what matters.
So what I want to do is
trick review.
Yeah. I put my pause in there. Is that not how it works?
So, here's an example of a parlor show. And you mentioned eye contact. When the lights are so unforgiving to you, because you want to find the spotlight, you want to be in the spotlight, and you're trying to do that, and you can't really make eye contact for real. Maybe some people on the sides. Does that ever happen to you?
Yes.
Yes. So that's unnerving to me, is to not have that relationship, that connection, that eye contact. That's important.
Because you feed off of that
I do.
vibe,
I do.
and I do too. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so when you don't have it, you have to pretend it's there.
And then you're pretending.
Yeah.
And people can go,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is tough, because it's when you feed off of people's reactions, their responses, their verbal, or their visual kind of reactions.
Sleeping. I want to perform outward, not inward, and that makes me have to perform inward, because I'm not. It's like performing by myself. And we have a lot to give. Jesus, oh my gosh, how precious! Oh my gosh.
The thing that I really like about our new black box,
yes,
is that everybody is right there.
Yes,
and we do have the lights because we have low ceilings, but you can direct your eye angles kind of in a downward position, so that you're looking at the actual row, not necessarily trying to look up per se, but you can still see everybody if you just drop your eye angle a little bit. And I really like the intimacy of it.
Oh
Yeah, it really feels like everybody is just right there with you.
Yeah.
And that to me is a very warming feeling.
Yes.
So here's some exercises that you can try. Yeah, you can exercises. Pick a simple topic.
So
pick a simple topic, a trick, whatever. Force a pause between sentences, and every time you say pause instead. Another one is record and review. Now this one is a big one for me, because when you're performing live, the ums and the so's and the so basicallys and the likes and all that kind of stuff doesn't necessarily resonate until you watch it back. Then you go, holy crap, I can't believe I did that so many stinking times. That's where you really capitalize on it, and that's where you really go, wow, I really gotta change that. So that one's a big one. And then another good exercise is actually forcing yourself to do it under pressure. Consciously force yourself to not use those words when you're performing. And
But still keep it real.
Yeah.
Fine line.
Yeah. My mom was at one of my training sessions, and she was in the back of the room. And I'm going through the session, and it was at the time when I was doing budgeting workshops and things of that nature. And I'm going through my session, and I see my mom with a notepad, and she's going. And so I stop, and I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? And she said, oh, we'll talk about it during the break. And I went, okay. And so I continued. Well, during the break, she came up to me, and she's like, here's how many times you said so basically.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The very next, we finish the break, we get back to our session, and I'm like, so
Really being
okay,
conscious of
and it's amazing how much it trips you up, because you'll start talking, you go, so all right, don't do that either. We're gonna take a look at what it means to balance a budget. So we're going
You've
to
programmed yourself to say that for so many years.
Yeah.
And it's been comfortable, but now it's pointed out to you. It's going to be difficult to just get rid of that.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
And the thing is that when you watch it back, and you see so basically, it's like, good God. Yeah. The other thing that she recommends is, especially when you're performing, is slow your speed down to about 70% of your normal speed, because everybody has this natural instinct to speed up when they're actually live. And so things go much faster. You practice it. Oh, this is a 5-minute routine. And then you actually perform it. Wow, it's 3.5 minutes. So slow it down. The one thing that I don't particularly like doing is, in this case, script tightening. Write it down, write a script, and then use that script, because I don't like sounding scripted. I want to sound natural. I want to sound like it's coming from the heart, not that it's coming from a piece of paper that I wrote everything out, and this is what I was told myself to say. Exactly.
We got a good book about that, actually.
We do.
Yeah.
What's the book?
That's Authentic Fabrications
There you go.
by Frank Williams. He talks about writing a script without writing a script, and giving yourself the openness that you need in order to do that. So you're not focusing on being, every single line is said exactly the same way. You have different key points that you hit, and those key points are important. So that's why you put it in there. You don't go and put every line down. You put the ones, okay, I need to say this, I need to say this, I need to say this. Everything in between is all
right,
natural and unscripted.
Like, for example, if I don't say that my dad's an escape artist, the rest of that routine is useless.
Kind of, well, not necessarily useless.
The rest of the verbiage is useless.
That makes
So
sense.
my so at least that's what my mom said when I found these. What?
Yeah. Important point.
Yeah. Okay. So we are running a clearance on a bunch of items. We, Joshua and I, have made it a pack, if you would call it such a thing, or a goal. Maybe a goal would be better, is to eliminate about $10,000 in inventory so that we can make room for some newer things. And these are things that have been around our shop for a very long time. And it's not because they're not necessarily good.
It's not because they're bad. It's
because
we need
people
to make room when they've been sitting too long.
And people forget
Is
that
this-
there even exists.
Is this the stuff down there on that one big table?
Yes.
Oh, there's some great things there.
Yeah.
People need to come here and just pick it up.
And you can also go to our website, wrmagic.com, wr-magic.com, and we have a special clearance section that will just show you all the things. But we have a card on a fishing pole. We have a selfie stick where a card appears, a selected sign card will appear on a selfie stick. The Leap,
Ring.
the Leap is, they came out with version 2, so we have a bunch of version 1s left. We're,
Card through glass.
Hmm?
Card through glass. That's what Leap is.
yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a great effect, and version 1 is just fine, but we're deep discounting them because we want to get version 2s in. And then some of the things that we are doing is just like, for example, Doug, you played with CSI. It's a good concept, good trick, but a little bit more on the what would you call it, DIY spectrum.
Do you want me to be truthful?
Half truthful.
It needs to come with a way to find the material that you need to keep performing it.
Yes, because ultimately it's going to retire.
It retires very quickly, and I didn't struggle a long time to find any more of it, but I couldn't find it.
Right. And which puts you basically at their mercy, which puts you at their mercy,
Except
not
they don't-
basically.
Except they don't sell it either. You
Okay.
have to buy
The whole new kit.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have that.
But let me put so if you are very diligent about it and very practical about not wasting any of the material, it'll last you much longer. I don't have that kind of patience.
Right.
Watch this. So no.
Yeah. But we do have it on our deep discount table, so you can get it for a good price.
Yeah.
And like Doug said, just be meticulous about it.
Yes.
Check that out, wr-magic.com. And there's probably about 40 items that are in that list.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's worth looking at. Some of the items that we have are demos or display models. When we have demos, it doesn't mean that the thing's getting used every single day, because we're not a high traffic area, number one. And it's just more that it's been on display than it's actually been used.
It has been opened.
It's been opened, it's been displayed, and it's been played with, but it's not like it's being used on a daily basis and it's all worn out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We've never. Those ones either go in our personal collection or those ones that go right in the trash because they've been used too much.
Yeah. And we're missing pieces.
Yeah.
So real quick, Josh, you got a deck of cards.
I do.
Can I have a time count, please?
Sure.
Watch. Okay. I have the city event that I need to
5:30.
yes. So what do we got, Josh?
This one is the Reviver playing cards. This one is $20. And
The camera's on you from the front.
on the front, okay.
Yeah.
Here is your back design right here. A nice actually it's one of those words that, what do they call that, where you can read it front and back and it reads the same way, or actually front backwards like this. It reads
Right.
the same way. I forget what they call that.
So left and right, right and left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically. And actually that's pretty cool.
What is that
two
word, Doug?
Identical jokers. Do you remember what that word is? Two identical jokers, very nice. It's actually a thick deck. It's not very thin. And interesting. You have some cards that are the light cards that have a dark pip in the middle of it. And then the other ones follow suit as well. You have something like that. Or like that.
I will tell you that
Like that.
some of those lighter cards, excuse me, in a dark setting are difficult to read. Because I used a deck that was similar to that at the tavern, and the tavern is very dimly lit, and it was hard to read them.
And then they've got actually some of the dark cards.
She's a contortionist.
Yes, she is. Some of the dark cards actually, they've got some wordage on them too.
And what does the word say?
This one says, oh, this is a nice message. Kill everything, kill everything, kill everything.
No, good.
That's a wonderful message.
One of those decks.
Yeah. And then this one has another interesting aspect to it. You've got a light pip and then a what would be considered the red pip on the thing as well. But this one's also got the very that looks like the innermost bottom or innermost upper is the a gray pip.
So
and then the
this is obviously not a performer's deck.
what you could, I mean, I might use it. This is I don't like the feel of it per se. It's too thick. Whenever I perform with anything, I have the stuff a lot thinner. So not necessarily a worker, I would say. But it is very an interesting type of design on it, even though the cards themselves are standard. They've got some aspects to it that are worth noting that are interesting, and I don't know if it was just stylized this way, but the order is different as well. It is it's reversed. You know how you have spades, diamonds, clubs, and hearts. This one is hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades.
Out of the box.
Out of the box.
All right.
I think you can actually use that to get into a particular stack. But it is, like I said, it's not, it's chunky.
All right.
And the pharaoh of said chunkiness is garbage. Don't do it.
Okay. So no pharaoh.
No pharaoh. This was one of those I think is more of a stylized deck of cards.
It's just interesting.
Yeah, and then you've got don't know what this is, but you have a little illustration that goes on one of them, and then
That's an MC Escher castle design where the more you walk up the stairs, it just repeats itself.
that's cool.
MC Escher.
Oh. See? I told you he knew some
And
things.
I do know what that means, but I'm not going
You do?
So yeah, it's an
It's
interesting
dark.
deck.
Can I see those?
Yeah,
Can I see how they feel?
All right. Well, you're doing that.
a little too thick, but it's not bad.
I think it's time to say goodbye because I got to go to work. But
Well,
I think it was-
I have had a pleasure here.
it was
Thank
an
you so much
interesting
for
conversation. Huh?
Magic Talk. I've done a couple of these.
You've done several.
You hear what he just said? Oh, by the way, that deck of cards is $20.
You said that.
I did.
Yeah. Thank you.
I have MS. I don't remember.
Anyways, on White Rabbit Magic.
We believe in magic.
This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.